Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jet Radio 1400. Guess what? Although it didn't feel like it this morning, it is springtime, and it's time to start thinking about things growing again. That's why we have Josh Skarzinski from Stan's Garden Center rejoining us in the studio.
I'm going to do my creepy voice. He's back.
You are back, and you're fired up. You're ready to go, but you have to be this time of year.
Oh yeah, I'm loving it. I really do. Even though it snowed, and what did we choose? Is that times like these?
That was times like these.
So I'm going to start off. I am at a fast pace, a breakneck pace. You
That's
might
good.
at some point during the show want to lean across the desk and Will Smith me because I'm gonna bring it. I want to open up with like baseball game home run, like first pitch. So I'm a huge fan of the Foo.
Right.
So we've decided we're kind of going to pay homage to the loss of the fantastic drummer, to the very unfortunate untimely death at 50, which we're at that age bracket. So you can relate to that loss of Taylor Hawkins. So we're going to kind of pay homage to the Foo, and I'm going to figure out a way to start every show with a Foo song and make it relevant.
I love it.
So that was Times Like These, and these times like these are Easter coming, and it is supposed to be spring. I think chronologically it's truly spring now, right? It is the date came. We have jumped forward in our time or whatever, which I hear is soon to be not a thing anymore.
That's what they say.
Yeah, I hope so. I like my evening light time. But as I'm driving to do the first show, which we are on time this year, April 1st.
That's right.
It is me. It's not an April Fool's joke.
No, it's the real guy.
I'm here, real in person, green shirt and all, and it's snowing coming across 12th Street, and I'm like, all right, how am I going to do a garden show? It's snowing, I joked with the staff. I'm like, hey, do we have snow shovels and salt in stock enough for our April? Because it's snowing.
Pretty much so.
One would think that it is an April Fool's joke that it's actually spring, but it's spring. So I'm going to roll out with some of the Easter because that's what's relevant. That's what's coming.
Totally.
The greenhouse is really rocking. We have a great portion. I know staff, through many industries, many business across the country has been an issue. We're very fortunate to have a very solid return of all of our growing staff. We've lost no one on the growing staff, and we have some new additions that we're really excited about. Fantastic hires. The West Stands facility is open with a new general manager over there, Kathy, the plant knowledgeable veteran at the West Side facility.
Guru, the Yoda.
Yep, a couple assistant managers to Terry in the East Side that are really awesome so far. They've really taken to the East Side stuff. So we're really excited about staff. We're really stoked about the plants because the last 2 years being in our industry in general, kind of COVID boosted. Really unfortunate that some of the businesses, the restaurants and the bar industry really took a hit to COVID. Anyone in the home business, and because the stay at home thing really took a boost, we have really aggressively grown. The crop manager, Alyssa, who's actually done some of the show stuff with us, she's nervous about even enough space to grow what we've scheduled to grow.
Is that right?
We will find a place. We'll stack it up. We'll put it under the bench if we have to.
Yeah.
But we are really aggressively cropping. They are starting some of the 4.5-inch stuff actually today in the big, like the Super Tunias and the Calibracoa and stuff. So we're hanging baskets in retail already for display. They're not ready to go. Obviously, it's snowing, but we're actually using some of that space already. So Easter being right around the corner, that material will be ready for sale sometime midday Monday. And we're talking about the bulbs, the hyacinths, the tulips, the lilies, the daffodils, that material.
Yeah.
So it is kind of the unofficial kickoff to the garden center season when you see Easter plants kind of hitting the shelf, if you will. Hard goods over the last 2 years has been challenging because of supply chain. Obviously, some of the fertilizer and stuff, we don't manufacture that like we do the plant material, has been trying. So we were very, very aggressive with getting large quantities and warehousing them ourselves early. We never closed entirely at the East facility, so that's new news. If you didn't know that, we were open weekends only, and then
that's big though.
We went full time. I talked myself right into a cough.
I've been there.
We went full time starting Valentine's Day. And as of Monday, hours are going to lengthen already. So it is kickoff time. We're ready. We're hitting the ground running. The shelves are not full. We've moved shelves in and stacked product higher because, like I said, there's more things than there probably has been in Stan's history.
Yeah.
So that's my mic drop to my opening monologue.
That's pretty big. Let's jump on the phone lines. You're on with Josh. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It must be spring. I'm hearing Josh.
And I'm hearing you. We were just chatting. Like, I bet you we know who the first caller is going to be.
That's right.
You got it, man. I have to be because I'm like the Easter Bunny. I arrived just in time.
It's tradition.
You're a staple. You know, I wear a green shirt. You call the show. It's like times are back to normal.
Well, we want to be back to normal if we can. I mean, we've lived in a couple of years here of too much everything was just too crazy.
Yep.
I just wanted to ask you, I think you always come up with some new type of inspiring maybe plants or soils or something that we could try in our locale here to make our growing season better and more productive. And I wonder sometimes with what we got in the air, they keep saying our air quality isn't as good as it should be. If you have some recommendations in that, and I know in my condition, with my eyesight almost completely gone now, and I just had a heart attack here in January.
Oh, goodness.
I'm going to be in the market of trying to help have a landscaper, I guess, help me do my planting, because it's what old doctor said, don't you start doing any shoveling there, Rich.
Right.
You can't, that's not good for your heart. No, okay. So I got to get somebody else to come in, and I've looked at master gardeners and that. They're hard to find.
Right.
I know they're out there. It's just hard to get a hold of one.
Yeah. So are you asking about like new? Because Josh, you're right. He's always kind of on the cutting edge of new types of plants, new types of flowers, things that people might want to try that they haven't tried before.
That, and also, I would think that in Stan's Garden Center, you get a lot of people that come in that are experimenting with new plants, but not only that, but they would not mind helping others to do planting as well. Like in my case, I can't get out and do the planting as I used to.
No.
Maybe they can come up with some kind of a board to post, I will help, or I could be hired to help or whatever.
Okay.
The case may be that you provide additional, beside planting material, to people to help you do the planting too, and that's where I'm coming from. I would like to find some way to get someone capable of helping me do the right things for my gardens.
All right,
So
I will answer the question.
Maybe we can do something different here that year, this way, and it's good to hear you too, there, man.
All right.
You two are always good on time.
Is
like
it?
that.
Is it?
I don't know. Some people think so.
You are on the cutting edge too, buddy. I'll return.
Yeah.
I'll return the favor.
Yes.
I will return the host of questions with a host of information.
Okay.
So one thing, as far as the question about helping do services and such, I think the industry has grown very rapidly, and so too has the service industry on the landscape side. It is a very large business. The things that I know that I've mentioned on the air, and it's no respect or disrespect, it's just my personal opinion about the service industry, is it really does depend on what specific service you're looking for. For instance, if I was going to have lakefront, erosion control done, I had valuable lakefront property, the weather has changed, the lake has risen, stuff like that, I would hire like Dahlkemper Landscape Architects. That's their wheelhouse. They've done huge projects. They've done, if you're looking for someone to rake up leaves and cut some edging, you can get one of the budding new businesses that might not even have a lot of plant knowledge, but can do great cleanups and mulches and small pruning projects and things like that. I in no disrespect to them, I call them the pickup truck and rake landscaper.
Sure.
That has decided they want to be out on their own, doesn't want to punch a card or whatnot. Those guys are out there that are great for those services. If you want someone that has solid plant knowledge that may be doing smaller installs, not lakefront erosion control. There's some long-standing landscape installers that have a pretty good personal knowledge. They might not have the degree or such. They might not be an architect per se, but we work great with like Signature Landscape. That's Jessica Harrington. That she's a customer of ours. Jeff Kuczynski, that he owns a landscape company that we recommend quite frequently that will do smaller install with. I'm having a moment as far as the name of his company, Reliable Landscape. A couple of those are just examples of the smaller, not huge corporate kind of landscape architects, but do great work and can do small installs and actually are aware of their knowledge and limitation. Will come in and say, hey, we have this customer that has a really shady area. Can you help steer us and what's best for them? So they do give a darn. So there's a whole host out there. I
know what you're saying here, Josh, if I may interrupt you just for a second. I have contacted some of them, and I ended up being confronted with, my job is too small. They want $200-$300 for 1 or 2 hours worth of work, and I don't have that kind of income. Matter of fact, I'm living on Social Security 90% myself. I don't have any other ways of earning the extra income. But I'm looking for someone that might be starting out small on that. But what I like to do is just not so much over the air as it is maybe if I called stands and they say, well, here's a few recommendations, phone numbers, because I don't do the computer. I can't see it, and I got a paralyzed right hand, so I can't type it. So that's my issue, one of my issues. But such a April Fool's Day, and I know how Mr. Carpenter likes a little humor, too. I don't know if you heard about the fellow that was being taken around this house, and this lady was telling him, the fellow, what all the different colors she wanted a room. She said, I want this living room painted yellow, and the guy would go over to the window and yell to his workers out by the truck. He said, green side up. And then he'd go over to take him to the one other room. I want just a blue, and he went over the window and yelled, green side up. She's thinking, gee, that's interesting. He said the same people who were out the other room color. Took him up to another room. This here, I want a room, make this bathroom a nice pink. And he goes over the window, green side up. She says, sir, can you tell me, why are you selling green side up when I give you all these different colors? Oh, he said, we not only paint, but we also lay sod.
There you go. There you go. Thank
That's
you, caller.
Our garden joke for the morning.
You take care, sir.
You too. Bye now.
Good to talk to you. I thought it was the Sam Catania show for a minute. That's on Wednesdays, folks. That's not on Fridays.
Sam has a show too. Tell him
you
green
need
side
to hear
up.
that. Yeah, Sam's show is a unique beast of the airwaves.
Isn't Sam a unique beast?
He really, really is. He really is.
People call me that too. That's why I'm a like animal. The caller did mention the Master Gardener program. The Master Gardener is put on by Penn State, and I learned a little bit about the Master Garden program because I've done numerous speaking engagements and worked with their like their spring convention and things here at Penn State, Maine, or Penn State Barron. And one of my best friends and one of my longtime staff members and colleagues that does a lot of the inventory control and accounts receivable, accounts payable and stuff, he decided he wanted to become part of the Master Garden program to increase his horticulture knowledge. And not just, he comes from a background of math and business, so he's in that's his wheelhouse for us. Well, he wanted to be able to, because he answers the phone and stuff a lot, be able to up his game in the green industry. So he's taken the Master Garden program throughout the winter, and he just took his final. He said, I think I passed, because they told me verbally that I passed, but I don't have paper on it yet. Yeah. So he will be a Master Gardener. So the program, I don't really believe, is generally people that is going out there and making a living. It's a lot of retired folk or people that maybe volunteer at the Arboretum and things like that. They maybe help with landscape at the zoo, stuff like that. I don't know that they as a whole, maybe some of them do odd jobs and things, but I think a lot of them do. I know that one of the requirements for Via Mike that just took the program is volunteer work.
Okay.
So if some of those folks are kind of scratching their head wondering, I don't know what I want to do, maybe the niche for that particular student working towards the program would be to help out the caller and help, add a new garden or something like that that would fulfill the time needed to become a master gardener, because I know that volunteer work was one of them, and I know Mike did some work with that, like Zubu and things with their lights and outdoor spaces and such like that. So
sure, good info.
The master gardener program is one that does work hand in hand with any green industry, obviously.
Yeah.
So
good info. Let me ask you this, since the seasons in Erie are a light switch. I always joke that there's no use buying a light jacket here because it goes from winter to summer. And obviously, we're still in winter mode. And I think people tend to procrastinate. This is really the perfect time to stock up at Stan's for what you're going to be doing in a couple weeks. Get your fertilizer, get your mushroom compost, get your stuff. What should they be grabbing right now?
We were talking, now being in a media industry, we were talking with Gray Matter Media, our rep that does our marketing and such, and they're going to help us and handle some of what we as green industry people are not driven to be very successful at, and that is our Instagram, our Facebook, our Pinterest, stuff that people are really interested in and on their phones and on their laptops and stuff looking at, but we being growers are so darn busy getting that product ready.
You can't
we're
be
not
checking your
very
likes.
good at it. So that the relationship with Gray Matter Media and Stan's has been long standing, and they are the advertising agent to some of the largest advertisers you don't even realize.
Oh, yes, they are.
That are out in the Erie area. So there you go, Adam. That's my my ping for the day for you. I'll send you the bill. And one of the things we were chatting about, because I did not forget my point on that, is that I wonder what's relevant right now. It's snowing. It's like some of the posts, some of the articles, some of the things I write that they're going to put out. What is chronological? What is timely right now?
Right.
And one of the first things that I guess I've probably hit this in shows in the past, but you don't think about really lawn care and outdoor feed and things like that because no one wants to go out there. But that's
exactly my point.
Yeah,
yes.
That step one is one of the things that I always get people in June saying, hey, I want to take care of my crabgrass. I had it the last 3 or 4 years. I don't want it anymore. I really want to hobby at my yard this year. I just didn't give a darn in the last 5 years, and it's gone to heck, and I really want to get after it. And the best way to stop crabgrass in your lawn is to stop it from ever living and stop it from ever existing. And the way that plant works, just like, for instance, the Easter plants, they need to be stratified. That means that Mother Nature needs to lay that seed down in amongst that winter lawn. No one pays any attention to crabgrass or thinks about crabgrass in January. They could care less. It's not a problem till June when it starts to get the tassel and be nauseous weed that's unsightly. So that seed lays there, and it must lay there all winter and be cold. That's stratification. That's just like your daffodils. They need to be in the cold too. And then when it warms, they say, okay, time to bloom. Well, that's what's happening right now with the crabgrass. So you can put down that step one or a related item that is a product that is a lawn-based pre-emergent herbicide. That means it stops the seeds from ever germinating. So what I like to do is get out there when I know that it's not T-shirt weather and get that material down. I'll even use like a half rate 2 weeks apart that go the opposite direction to make sure I get darn good coverage. So I get all of that crabgrass seed and other annual produced stratified weeds. I knew I was going to throw vocabulary at
like
you
it
too,
though.
that have been sitting there in wait all winter long, and you stop them in their tracks. That actually is a more ecological way to do it because you don't have to use 3 or 4 or 5 applications of post-emergent weed killer that is maybe a little more toxic, used during the growing season. This is a granular form. You spread it out. So I'm going to give you a timely information about making sure your chronologic order is right in the green industry. That's one thing for lawn care. The other thing is folks will come in right now looking to get a jump on their peppers, their tomatoes, their cucumbers and things. That material is all warm-blooded. It doesn't like cold feet. But I also have folks that will come in like, oh, I'm a little late getting my garden in, but I'm ready to go now. I want to get it going. I want broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, lettuce. That stuff all hates the heat. It likes the cool. So if you have added vegetable space, you've added garden space, you're going to start doing edibles, which the buzz in the industry about labor and shipping and freight and edibles is that there is shortages coming down the pipe for even the simple things that isn't like packaged mac and cheese or whatever, but just heads of lettuce. There is labor issues, COVID restrictions, things that have caused the trickle down in the supply chains to be very tight and narrow. And there may be things that you're used to seeing that you go to the grocery store this summer that it just isn't there or not what you're used to. So I'm hearing that trickle down that this might be in a green industry, even a larger push than we have seen in the past. So bear with us if even we have some bare spaces on the shelf, because it's impossible to have the crystal ball and predict. But one of the things we are predicting is a big rush on edibles. Those edibles, if you are not familiar with vegetable gardening as much as maybe your flowers, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, cabbage, lettuce, collards, radishes, things like that, arugula, all that material likes the cool, casual weather.
Right.
Prep your soil now, add your organic matter, work it when it's not too wet to till or to fork, and add some pelletized limes. That keeps your pH more neutral, and work the peas and the lettuce and the collards and things early and cool. Wait to do your eggplant, your cucumbers, your zucchini, your peppers and tomatoes until you have good mid-50s earth that's reliable. Obviously, Erie April Fool's Day is too snowy and cold to drop a tomato.
Yes, it is. I mean, we always talk about, if you think about where tomatoes come from, where cucumbers come from, they come from like a very tropical region originally. This is not what they're born for.
Right.
And this is onion and garlic weather.
Absolutely. Oh, onions and garlic and things that are grown cool have such a mild flavor to them. Even like I like cold cauliflower, like the dipping cauliflower on the deli tray. That is so much more palatable when it's grown even at a frost.
Yep.
When it's grown cold, it's just like what you get for ice wine when they wait till they see a freeze and then the sugar goes way up in the grape. Same thing with cauliflower. So all that material should be what you're dabbling with now. If you love to pick green onions and have them sweet enough to just eat right out of the earth, that's when you grow them cold.
Now I'm hungry. Well, we're just about out of time, so let's once again give people, since they should be getting ready, because the season will be here very soon, at stands and getting their stuff. Give me the hours and all the info.
Yeah, we are open 7 days a week. Right now, Sundays 11 to 4, but we're going to bump that just a little bit when we move into April, starting Monday. We're 9 to 5 for the weekend here. Starting Monday, we're going to go 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4 on Sundays.
All right. I like it, Josh.
Both locations
Both
are
locations.
open, Easters or Westers.
Easters or Westers?
Eastern people or Western people. Too much coffee.
Yeah, too much coffee. I know the feeling. We're going to wrap up with Josh. Coming up, we've got, speaking of unique beasts, Rich from Ironstone Meadery is going to join us right here on Jet.
The ministry of the late Roger A. Hedrick. The late Roger A. Hedrick. The late Roger A. Hedrick. The late